And now, your host of 180, Steve Sone.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm Steve Savant. We're broadcasting live from the heart of Phoenix, Arizona on KXXT Family Values Radio. And I also want to welcome our online audience on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And I want to give a big shout out to Beyond Fear to Freedom, one of the best Christ-centered fellowships that provide a safe and loving community for women in recovery. Just check out their website at beyondfeartofreedom.org. And you can check out their Friday nights. It starts at 5:30 to 6:15, food fellowship and childcare is provided. And then stick around for the 6:15 for guys and gals on Friday night. You get messages. They're fantastic messages too, by the way. And if you want to write me, please feel free to do so. My email address of the show is steve@180uturn.com. That's steve@180youturn.com. And I'm happy to take your questions, and I love the people that give me Bible verses. I use them all the time. They're just fantastic. Thank you so much. Well, again, we're day 3. We're with Chris McCrimmon. We're talking about history all this week. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
I am delighted to have you, bro. I may the Lord have affection on your life.
Amen.
If you've missed Monday and Tuesday show, I highly recommend that you go out as soon as it's broadcast done with KXXT. I put them all on the internet. Watch Chris's show in chronology, in sequence, so that you can kind of get the idea what's going on. So I just encourage you that. Now, if you were with us yesterday, we stopped by. We just got in. Chris was talking about his job being a nurse, which I thought was extremely compassionate on his part. Total grandmother influence on that.
In a real way.
But it's tough. It's tough to get arrested at work.
Oh, man.
Because everybody sees it. You're going out in cuffs.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, I get arrested. It's about 9 o'clock. And as I'm going down the streets, going down Grant, I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm finna be gone for a long time. Like, I ain't gonna see these streets for a minute.
What are they arresting you on? What's the charge?
The charge that I originally got arrested on was armed robbery, attempted murder, and that was for the Mariano Pizza.
Oh, that's a big news item back in the day.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah, I read that whole thing. If you want to read it, it's still out there. You can jump on and look at the public domain. And in this scenario, there was a couple of guys involved in this thing.
Yes,
right?
It was.
And so you were just one of the guys. Did they find out because somebody ratted on you, or you were just part of the identification of the group that that did this?
I really don't know, but I know that the guy who ratted on me in the murders was the same guy who ratted on me about the Mariano Pizza, who was the main culprit. Mm-hmm. And the prosecutor, the lead detective, they knew he was the shooter. Mm-hmm. They knew it. But because he was testifying against me on the murders, they was like, okay, well, the murders is the big thing because the first time 3 people got killed at a certain place in Tucson. So this is the main case that we need to get solved. This murder, because dude just got shot in the Mariano Pizza. He didn't die.
But it doesn't sound like they solved it. You see, they just assigned it to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And by the way, this is the thing is, look, somebody must pay for the murders. I get that. I get that. But not the wrong guy. See, this is the point, and this is why I think some people, and this is not a dig on public defenders, but sometimes when you don't have real money to post real attorneys that know what they're doing, you're just going to be one of the many. This guy's got a stack on his desk that he's got to get to, and he's just trying to get through it as fast as he can.
That's it.
Our courts are overwhelmed with all this, and of course, we shouldn't even be doing this stuff anyway. So
exactly.
We admit all that.
Exactly.
So now. You're spending time in jail until they figure out what they're going to do in prison.
But see, I'd been to jail so many times for tickets and driving on suspended license. I was thinking like, I'll get out. Nah, I never got out. I got arrested September 2nd of 1992, and I didn't get out till November 2017.
Yeah, we're talking serious time now.
Yeah.
No, and I love what you just said. You always, I cannot tell you time and again, sitting in 4th Avenue in maximum security where guys are going, I'm just going to be doing jail time. They're going to switch this down to a misdemeanor and I'll be out of the streets. And it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
And if you land in Supermax upstairs, you're going to prison. I mean, I don't even know why they're putting you there. They might as well just start your time now. So I just want to encourage all of you, if you're hearing this, some people, hey, I've been in and out of jail. It's no big deal. Food's bad, but it's no big deal. It is a big deal. One of these days, it's not going to just be jail.
Exactly.
Now, and in your case, that's what it was.
Exactly.
Now, you go to court, and you went through the trial, and this guy doesn't tell the truth.
No, I was found guilty at trial.
I know, but you didn't do any shooting.
No.
See what I'm saying?
No.
But this guy's assigning you that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're going to go to prison, and when they came with that sentence, what was the original sentence?
36 years.
36 years. And
Yeah.
what are the charges again?
Attempted murder, attempted robbery, kidnapping, attempted armed robbery. You know how they just bungle them all up. Yeah.
Concurrent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But still 36 years.
Exactly.
I mean, I cannot understand, and I can't get my and the only way I can do this is only from an outsider looking in. I walked on a medium yard here in the city, in a state prison, and the medium yard, and I met the chaplain's clerk, and she had been down 4 years before I met her. I've been in prison 16 years. She's still there, and she doesn't get out till 2025.
Wow.
So, and that's a medium yard. That's not even max. So I just want the public to understand, when people are doing serious time like Chris did, oh my gosh, guys, you have no idea. I don't really know how rehabilitating doing 36 years down does for you.
Yeah. But it wasn't straight 36 years. I had a 15-year sentence, and I had a 21-year sentence. On the 15, I brought 9. On the 21, I brought like 18. It totaled out 25 years, 2 months, and 27 days.
Yeah, I'm not sure I care. That was too long.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 25 years. And I'm not saying we shouldn't pay the piper for the deeds that we've done. If we got to do it, we got to dance the tune.
Exactly.
I'm there. I got that. But I also want to say, listen, when we're sitting there, and you know, you knew the Bible too, going into all this too, right?
Yeah,
So
I knew the word.
And I just want to say, you know, I'm about 22. People always ask me, about 22 to 23% of everybody I meet in jail and prison are from some form of either Christian background or some God-conscious family. Right?
Yeah.
And so I have people going in there and beating themselves up because they should have not been there. They knew better, and they shouldn't even be in here. So I agree with all that. Okay, now when you're there, you're heading for prison.
I'm heading to prison.
And this now is dark. Now in prison, is it pretty segregated? Blood's on one side, Crips on the other?
It's black, white, Mexican. Get with your race. Mm-hmm. And when I went to prison, I went to Central Unit behind the walls in the early 90s, so it was still cracking. My first 3 days there, I seen a dude get hit in the head with a baseball bat on the rec field. A whole chunk of his dome just got knocked out. Seen a white dude stab another white dude in the kitchen. So I was like, man, this is serious. Like, it's going down here.
So nobody's talking to each other. If you're from a different race, there's no communication. Nobody's going to chapel that way either. Is that correct?
I mean, chapel, everybody goes.
Everybody goes.
Yeah, everybody goes to chapel, but when you go to the chow hall, you sit with your race. Mm-hmm. When you go to rec, you rec with your race. Mm-hmm. When you work out with your race. Mm-hmm. Period.
Mm-hmm. Any change in that is going to cause major problems.
Yeah, they're trying to change it right now. Mm-hmm. Like the feds is coming in and trying to change all that, but
yeah, good luck with that.
Exactly. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I can only say. And the only seg yard I was on was just I'm a European background. It's going to be the Aryan Brotherhood or nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so I get that, and I understand that, and I'm sorry that our society is so sick and so in need of God. I have to say that we have to play these games, and just a little side note, I don't want to take away from Chris' story, but I had to tell that yard that when they go to the judgment seat with their biases and prejudices, they're going to get their heads handed to them.
In a real way.
I mean, God is not going to put up with this stuff, right? No. And so you think you can go to heaven on this issue, forget it.
It's not.
Forget it.
But let me say this, too. Yeah. You know, like, this is just out here in the West Coast that is segregated. Because once you get past Texas, and you get down south and way back east in New York and all that, it's not segregated.
It isn't.
Back there, it's like, whoever you run with, that's who you run with. But out here, California, Arizona.
Why is that?
I don't know.
That's so strange.
That's how it is. But back east, it's not like that.
Well, I can see when you're in prison, your first 3 days, you just said you saw this guy got whomped on with a baseball bat.
Oh, he didn't get whomped on. He just got hit twice, and he was out.
He was out.
And the guard was like, everybody get on the ground.
With a gun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tell me, as you're going in here, I mean, you're facing some serious time. How are you adjusting?
I seen my homeboy. I don't even want to say his name, but I seen him. He was like, Chris. I was like, what's up, man? He's like, man, I'm going to get you on the paint crew. So he got me on his little crew, and that was a big relief because now I'm starting to see how everything operates and how everything move and groove. So that was a big relief.
Did you have guys on the, I've always known them as shot callers on the yard?
Oh, yeah. You always got shot callers for your
Somebody
people.
running the show.
Always.
Was your guy fair?
Oh, yeah, he was very fair.
So if you gave him his respect, which is you better give it.
That's everybody.
Right. He was a pretty fair guy, because I've met some guys that are pretty all right, but other guys are jerks, right? Well, when we come back from the break, we're going to continue with Chris's story. We're in prison now. Who wants to be there? I got to tell you, I visit and I don't like it. And Chris has lived and done the deed. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk more about Chris's story, the impact it had on his life, and when he finally came to terms with the Lord. I mean, we're going to do that tomorrow, our conversion day. We call it euphemistically Holy Thursday. But I just want to encourage you, if you're hearing this today, and if you say, man, I'm right at the point where I could make a big mistake and do some serious time, this is the time to listen to Chris's story. Take heed, take warning, take caution. This could have been you. You still have time to make the change. We'll be right back.
You know the road to recovery can be difficult, but you don't have to travel it alone. Every Friday night, like-minded women gather together to share a meal and their stories, how they broke the destructive cycles of their lives by the power of God.
It's all
and
good.
moved on to a new life
I ain't in a
Christ.
rush.
For more information about Friday nights, just go out to their website at beyondfeartofreedom.org. If you can't get to BFF on Friday nights, or you don't live in the Phoenix area, you can stay connected by joining BFF's Subscribe Tribe, where you'll receive their weekly study guide, so you can track with them online. Just sign up today on BFF's website at beyondfeartofreedom.org. And don't forget to listen to BFF's weekly video podcast with Debbie G and Sheridan. Their own life experience and their biblical influence will overhaul your thinking, your identity, and your future. They'll keep you encouraged with some great insight and biblical truth. Just friend them on Facebook or go out to their website at beyondfeartofreedom.org. BFF, where you might just discover a best friend forever.
Well, welcome back. I'm Steve Savant. We're listening to 180 U-Turn. We're with Chris McCrimmon on his story. It's a story, let me tell you. And boy, I just can't imagine doing the serious time, Chris, that you're talking about. You did it. You've done that. Some people, I had a guy come in here, said he did 5 years down. It was nothing. It was like a walk in the park. But you don't do walk in the park when you're doing 15, 20, 25. There's no walk in the park to be had there. In this whole scene, there was two actual major crimes here. There was the Murano Pizza issue, right, down in the Tucson area, right?
Yeah.
But there was also this El Grande thing.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about both, kind of give me because both of these you got mixed up in, and one of these cost you.
Yeah. Well, I originally got sentenced to 36 years for the Mariano Pizza. I went to Central Unit from like 93 to 94, went back to court, and got sentenced to death for the El Grandes.
And were you involved in that robbery?
Yes, sir.
But you were not involved in the shooting.
I was involved.
Mm-hmm.
I was involved.
And when they sent you there, you went from regular general population immediately to
death row.
To death row.
So from the county jail after I got found guilty, you go straight to death row.
Okay, and how long were you on there?
I was on death row from 94 to 97.
94 to 97. How did you get off?
God.
Let's talk about that story.
Yeah. So anytime you're facing a capital punishment murder case, you have to poll the jury. Mm-hmm. Polling the jury is you ask each individual jury, is this your decision? They have to say yes or no. It can't be I don't know, maybe, whatever. It has to be a definitely yes or no. If it's not a definitely yes or no, it's a mistrial. Now you got to start the whole process all over again. Well, in my case, it was maybe, I don't know. The judge should have said mistrial right then and there, but he didn't. He said we're going to go on a lunch break and then we'll convene when we get back. During his lunch break, he takes the jury into his chambers, talks to her, and she comes out and says yes. Mm-hmm. So I get sentenced to death.
Now tell the difference just for our audience. What's the difference? I visited. I don't live there. You did. What's the difference between being in general population in a maximum situation and heading for death row?
Well, death row, you only come out your cell, what, three? You get wrecked 3 days a week. General pop, you get wrecked. Maximum, you get wrecked almost every day. You're on death row, you're separated. You don't get in contact with nobody. You go to rec in a pen by yourself. You go to visitation basically in a little pen by yourself. You don't come in contact with nobody. When you come out, you're handcuffed behind your back, and that's it. You come out for showers, you come out for rec, and everything else is brought. Your meals are brought to your cell, your store is brought to your cell. Oh, you come out for visits as well. Other than that, you're in your cell.
During your time on death row, did you have any visitation?
Yeah, my aunt came to see me. My mom came to see me. Family members, that's it. Yeah.
No other activities, though. You're not going to chapel on death row, right?
Oh, yeah, you could go to chapel.
Okay.
You can go to chapel, but chapel is behind the glass, too.
One-on-one, or is it you're behind
Well,
the glass? You just got several people? Or
Yeah, you just got several people, and the
glass.
chaplain is like
In the
in
middle.
the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you go to chapel? Do you like going?
Oh, yeah, I went because that's when my true awakening and my true relationship came when I was on death row. That's when I really knew what the word was about. Like, okay, I grew up with my grandmother. I grew up knowing a little bit about the word. I knew that if I died, I would go to heaven because I did accept Jesus as my personal savior. I knew whatever I was doing, I didn't care if I died, I know I'd go to heaven. That I knew, but I didn't. If you work the word will work. I didn't know how to work the word. It's just like a lawyer works a case. In order to prove what he's saying, he has to find a case that's similar to the situation that his client is going through. So he finds the case and relates it to this. Well, judge, this happened in this case, and it's the same with my client. The Bible is the same way. Find the truth that you believe in. I found the truth. I said, God, David was a murderer. Moses was a murderer. And you gave them a second chance. Not only was David was a murderer, he was an adulterer, and he took a man's wife and killed the man behind his wife.
Right.
So I was like, your word says that you're the same today, yesterday, and forever. I believe that. And I know that you ain't brought me this far just to drop me off here and leave me here and let me rot here in this place.
Interesting to think about, because I usually experience the opposite. The guy says, look what I've done, Steve. My resume is so bad. How could God ever receive me again? You, on the other hand, you're on the flip side of this. He says, listen, there's Bible stories here. David, he offed Uriah.
Killed him.
I mean, Moses took care of the Egyptian. Paul was participating in Stephen's death. I mean, so I mean, it's just like the guy says, well, you'd never have a pastor that it was ever a murderer. Well, then I guess you wouldn't listen to Moses, and I guess you wouldn't listen to David, and I guess you wouldn't listen to Paul. I mean, we have our entire religion of Christianity is made with people that are broken, people that have messed up. Right?
Amen.
And I noticed that God doesn't disqualify you on the basis of how bad you've been.
Not at all.
Man, I love all that. All right, now, so you're on death row for a long time, and then something happened to get you off death row.
Exactly. Well, when you're on death row, you go straight to the highest court. Well, one of the highest courts. And my appeal went straight to one of the highest courts. And I'm coming in from rec. And this one dude tells me, he's like, hey, man, I seen your case on TV. Your case got overturned. I was like, man, don't be playing with me. He's like, bro, I wouldn't play with you about nothing like that. He's like, watch K-Gun 9 News. You'll see. They're talking about you and your co-defendant's case. I was like, all right. So I watched it at 6 o'clock, and bam, your case been overturned. You get a new trial. So I was like, praise God. Next day I got a call from my lawyer. Like, yeah, I'll be out there to see you. And my lawyer came out to see me, and his name was Richard Luigi, and we friends to this day.
By the way, if you want to see this, I read the exoneration doc that's still out there online. It's awesome to read. That has its own reading. It's only a page, and you can check that out online. It's, to me, you get the news. Now it's actually going to happen. So are you going to go back to general population immediately?
No.
No,
Don't happen like that. I got a new trial. I didn't get exonerated immediately. I had to go back for a new trial. They just granted me another trial. So I had to go back, pick the juries, go through the whole 9 yards of bringing witnesses in and giving testimonies and doing all that. But this time, there wasn't all the camera, all the news publicity and all that. It wasn't all that. And as soon as my lawyer came in with his main defense of their so-called key witness saying one thing now and then saying something else, like, this dude is a liar. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but I mean, God was with me. Mm-hmm. And my lawyer's like, hey man, if you get found guilty, I was like, bro, we ain't gonna get found guilty. Mm-hmm. Because I stood on Isaiah 54:17. Isaiah 54:17 says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Mm-hmm. And every tongue that rises against you in judgment shall be condemned. For this the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, God, you said no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Mm-hmm. This prosecution is a weapon formed against me trying to prosper. You said every tongue that rises against me in judgment shall be condemned. This is the perfect place. Mm-hmm. This is a tongue rising up against me in judgment. I thank you for condemning it. Mm-hmm. And you said you doing this for your servants. That's the Old Testament. I'm in the New Testament. I'm under the blood of Jesus. Mm-hmm. I'm your son. I'm not a servant. Mm-hmm. So I thank you for my release. Mm-hmm. And I just believed that all the way through.
You were there when they dismissed it?
Oh yeah, I was there in the court.
How was it?
It was joyful.
It was really joyful.
Really joyful. That was 97. That was 97. That was June of 97.
And when you went through, and now you're back in general population, right?
Now I go back to death row. Everybody know I'm finna get off. Then I went back to Central Unit again in 97. Mm-hmm.
And then stayed there till?
I stayed there till 97. I stayed there till like 98. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I stayed there till 98. From Central Unit, I went to Winslow, Kaibab, mm-hmm. which was cracking too. And I stayed in Kaibab to 99. From 99, I went to Yuma. I went to Cheyenne. I stayed in Cheyenne from 99 to 2012. Mm-hmm. 2012, I went to Dakota, stayed there a year and a half. From Dakota, I went to Cibola, stayed there a year and a half.
Do you think you're keeping your nose clean while you're doing time?
Somewhat. Mm-hmm. Somewhat. Not like I should have, but I was. Mm-hmm. You know, I kept a job. I worked for ACI. I worked for Safety Services.
While you're in?
Oh, yeah, while we're in.
So you got a little money in your commissary.
Oh, yeah. I ran a store, which was illegal. Running a store is like, say I got a honey bun. A person want a honey bun. I give them a honey bun. A honey bun is $1. So you owe me that honey bun, and you owe me 35 cents more. Mm-hmm. So I did that for a while. I got tired of doing that. Mm-hmm. And then I really, the closer I got to the gate, the more that I drew closer to God. Because I was like, it's two things I always do for the rest of my life. One is serve the Lord and exercise. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to serve the Lord because he brought me out of somewhere where the majority of people never get released, even innocent people who go get executed.
Right. If God did not intervene in your case based on the scriptures that you were relying on heavily, you'd have been terminated.
Yeah, but I'd have been in heaven, so it's all good.
It's all good, but why should I go early?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. I totally agree.
Okay, now, so when you're getting ready to come out, you got your head straight.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got my head straight.
You're ready to walk straight, head straight. The Lord is the shot caller in your life.
Absolutely.
Okay. When you're starting to do the countdown, now, family knows you're coming out, right?
Family knows I'm coming out.
We're going to talk about this tomorrow, about your job and all these other things that happened that were just as miraculous as some of the things we're talking about now.
Yeah.
And your last thing, we're closing up this segment, I think about when you're doing that kind of long time and how it messes. If you can tell me one thing before we cut to the show, what is the one thing in prison that you say, man, that I didn't expect?
Oh, just the constant change.
That everything's changing all the time.
Yeah,
you're being bounced from one yard to another yard.
And it's riots. Get the yard shut down for weeks and months at a time. When we was in Winslow, the yard was shut down for like almost 6 months.
Unbelievable.
No store, no shower, cold cuts. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Well, we got to go. Until next time, I'm Steve Savant. And remember, no one's outside the reach of God. No, not one.
Amen.